Hi, I'm Mark Levitt, and welcome to another spectacular episode of Bad Lyrics. Now, let me start my broadcast this week by addressing the hairy elephant in the room, okay? Now, yes, I have grown some facial hair, as you see, and I'm well aware that it makes me look more like a soap opera villain. But I ask you to look past that. The reason I grew this was because I had the flu recently, and I had a fever blister under my nose. So to camouflage the hideousness that was on my face, I decided to grow this. So that's the reason. Nothing. I'm not trying to alter my appearance in any way. But I realized that you probably don't want a whole novel on my facial hair. So let me get into the broadcast. What this broadcast is about this week is the bad lyrics of Simon and Garfunkel. Now, I'm not here to say that all their lyrics were bad. I'm going to point out the ones that I think are not good. I'm not here to say that Paul Simon was a terrible lyricist, okay? I am only here to dissect and diagnose his more hideous lyrics. That's my point. So let's begin. Now, I previously did a broadcast on Paul Simon, his solo career. I talked about, he after Simon and Garfunkel, he lyrically kind of went off the deep end. He wrote a song called "Cars Are Cars." It's like, obviously the title, and it's just more, just how cars are cars. And then he wrote something else about upper respiratory problems. He wrote a song called "Allergies," as if anybody really wanted that. So, but that was his solo career. But people tend to put his work with Garfunkel on a pedestal. But I'm going to be talking about songs I don't like. Now, the first song I will talk about is the before I begin, the thing that you should know about Paul Simon is it just sounds like the guy read a fair amount of poetry. I think you could make that safe assumption because he tends to plunk every kind of poetical image into a song, whether it's warranted or not. Okay, take for instance the indulgent and nonsensical song, the 59th Street Bridge song, also known as "Feelin' Groovy." You feeling groovy? I mean, how you like that for a title? Feeling groovy. Anyway, let me start to read it so you can see how sick and pathetic it really is. Okay, here's the first stanza. Slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun, and feeling groovy. All right, now I ask you, have any of you out there actually kicked down cobblestones? I imagine it would be pretty painful to do that. Cobblestones are traditionally rough and bumpy. If this dude insists on adhering to a strictly kicking stride when walking down cobblestones, he's in for a rude awakening. He might fall on his ass, or he might get a cobblestone lodged in his face. I don't think he'll be feeling groovy then. So there is that. And then next we come to the more bizarrely imbecilic lines in this song, and in any popular song. It goes something like this. Hello, lamppost. What you knowin'? So this guy is out on the town, and he's just walking around, and he suddenly thinks it's a good idea to start addressing the lamppost. Is he sane? I don't really know. And then he says, "Hello, lamppost. What you knowin'?" I mean, what is he, Joey Tribbiani here? How you doing, lamppost? How you doing? I mean, what else? I mean, like, what say, fire hydrant? Como está, park bench? Like, what does he throw that in? Okay, let's read the next stanza. I've come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Doo-doo-doo-doo, feeling groovy. Doo-doo-doo-doo, feeling groovy. So this guy suddenly starts scatting in the middle of a pop folk tune. Shibbity-bee-bop, a doo-bop, a feeling, a skibidi-boo. I mean, what's the point of that? Is that appropriate? I don't think so. Okay. Next, I'd like to go into one of the most famous and popular Simon and Garfunkel songs, which is, of course, The Sounds of Silence. Now, of course, it doesn't make any literal sense that silence has sounds. Now, of course, you could say, well, he's talking about the, sometimes silence can speak louder than words, right? Or the pregnant pause, or the silent but deadly. No, he's not talking about that. But you know what I mean? Like people's silence can be more important than if they actually said something, because they're not speaking. They're keeping their feelings hidden. That's what we were led to believe. Anyway, let's try to unwrap this enigmatic tune, shall we? Okay, we shall. Okay, let's see if we can make heads or tails out of it. It goes like this. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. Now, this just sounds like how attorney Michael Cohen might have addressed Donald Trump if he was going to a meeting. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Come to talk to you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. So some sleepy vision left seeds in this guy's brain. That's pretty disgusting. I mean, who's responsible for this dream anyway? Wes Craven? It's pretty gross. Then it goes, in restless dreams, I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. It's like there Simon goes again with the goddamn cobblestone image. I mean, like, where is this man walking? Colonial Williamsburg? Where are all these freaking cobblestones? There are no cobblestone streets anymore. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp. Oh, he did he? He went like this? Well, what if he was wearing a t-shirt? What, he went like this? That's a little awkward, isn't it? When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light. Is that a bit too dramatic, though? I mean, if his eyes were literally slashed by neon light, he'd suffer cardiac damage, He'd have to get LASIK surgery. I don't think he would be, like, just walking around. He'd probably be, he'd have to go into a clinic. Okay, that split the night and touched the sound of silence. In the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening. How about people without digesting, or people sneezing without gesundheitigen? You like those images, Simon? All right. This whole stanza is pretty confusing. People talking without listening, people talking without speaking. I mean, how do you talk without speaking? Were they using sign language? People hearing without listening? Well, that's a little more possible. I mean, if you're on the subway and people are making all kinds of inane cell phone conversations, you want to try to drown that out. It's like, I'm going under the tunnel now. No, I like that. I'm going under the tunnel. You want to try your best not to hear that. But I'm not sure that's what Paul Simon was actually talking about. Okay, the next stanza goes, "Fool, said I, you do not know." Well, there's a proclamation that comes out of left field. You just go suddenly into, "Fools, said I, you do not know." Who the hell is he talking to? "Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. How about take my legs so I might kick you in the balls?" All right? I don't know. After analyzing this song, it just seems like it's a lot of poetical images about silence. And I don't know if we really need any more songs like that. I think one is plenty. Anyhow, I thank you for joining me for another lyrical deep dive into the hideously bad lyrics, in this case, Simon and Garfunkel. I invite you to continue to enjoy the rest of your life and have a very good day.